This is Deborah. I'm back with my drawing of the stately walk of the king with his army. As you can see, I have cleaned him up a bit since the last video where all I did was laugh at myself. I have cleaned him up a bit, and I do have him coming up the steps. I really didn't want that, but I've decided I think I like that because I can show his whole army like he did here behind him, and I like that. So I'm working with a few problems and things, and I have a word that's dropped in my spirit for today that I want to share as I go. I do that sometimes. And this word is courage, because art is hard. It is, any kind of art. And it takes courage to start. It takes courage to start drawing. It takes courage to get up on a stage. It takes courage to write your first book or your poem. Or it takes a lot of courage because you're in an untested idea. You haven't tried it yet. So this is untested to you. So you got to have courage to do art. It takes it. I thought of that word. You got to have courage in life, period. But to do art, music, poetry, writing, sculpting, all of this stuff that we create, the creative people do. Designing, I mean, you can go on and on. Floristry, bonsai trees. I mean, there is so much creativity in people that do art and music. And anyways, and sometimes you have a different audience. You might be used to what you're doing, but now you got a new audience. You know, this thing kind of looks like, I don't know, a little shape where they beat it. It's beaten probably metal tin, some kind of metal, brass. Yeah, it's probably brass. I'll go with brass. But so I'm trying to make these little circle things here. But I do want you to have courage to do your art. I really do. It does take courage. It takes courage because to presenting your work at the end of it, presenting what you've created, what you've done, that takes courage because people judge it. It's hard to listen to the judgment of people on something you create. Ugh. Well, think about that. Man, we judge God a lot, don't we? We do. People get mad at God and judge him. But anyways, it's hard to take the judgment. You don't want them to be, I've got this wrong because it's kind of looking side by side. You don't want it wasn't a straight line. It's hammered randomly, so you want it to look random. I'm starting to see my husband in King Solomon too. You do these things unconsciously. When I tried to draw him consciously, it was a big mess. But I'm doing it unconsciously. So there, babe. That's for you. Okay. So also, it's kind of all-consuming, art is. It's your mind and takes your mind over, and you just got to create. You just do. It's all-consuming. It's all a part of you. And it's hard sometimes to value it. It takes you a while to value your creativity. It really does. And then sometimes you have to fight for it. So listen, courage is a word. You have to fight for your creativity, and sometimes you have to fight a little while before somebody that you love values it, or somebody you care about their opinion values it. And you have to work hard for a while to do something that they see. Okay, I see now. I see what you're doing, and I see that it's important. That might take years for some people to do that, but you have to keep going. It's that courage. The courage comes from fear. I mean, if nothing bad's happening, it's not courageous, to do something. But when you're afraid and it's dangerous to you, it can expose you. That's when it takes courage. It takes courage to do art. So I understand, when people just let it lay. Because sometimes they just can't handle at that time in their life, they can't handle the criticism and they know it. There's times when you just can't handle it. Do it in secret. you know, just I'm going to go play my guitar, go to the basement, work on it. Do it in secret if nobody values it. Draw, get you a book, big art book, and start drawing while everybody else is sitting around playing on their phone. You start drawing. Become somebody that's creating something instead of watching other people's creations online. I'm doing the shadow now of his little breastplate. This is keeping him from getting stabbed in the heart, I'm sure. Same thing, idea, nothing new under the sun. The policemen wear them. This is just a crude beginning. See, creation. This was the beginning of the policeman's shield, or their vest. What do you call it? Their protective vest. This is the beginning of it. Somebody created this. And look how long it took to get what we have now. Yeah. So I took his baby face away. I've made him look a little more manly. He's bald right now, and I'm thinking about a crown, but I just don't know if a king would wear a crown in the battle. I don't know. Maybe he would. So everybody will see him. They had to stand where the army could see him because it gave them courage, inspiration to see their king standing there boldly. But right now he's presenting himself with his army, probably to another king. So let's just say he's presenting himself to the King of Kings because he knew who the King of Kings was. And he acknowledged it. And he failed. So he ended up being foolish. But here he was in his prime. He knew what it meant to stand with his army. I'll work on his hair a little bit. I'm looking kind of right now at the big picture. I think his neck is too high. And you look at it and kind of straighten all this out. I have really changed a lot. He's a lot wider. That's why he looked like such a child. He was too narrow. He was too short. His legs were too small. His head wasn't right. I had to work on his head. But this shield that you think is going to be easy, it's not. It's not a circle. It's not, I got these cute little things here. Okay, it's not an oval. I played around with this. This may be crude. This may be my brass shield here. But I played around with it. It's kind of oval. It fits right there. Wow. So I could use this to make this edge if I hold it just right. Let's see if I can. So it's going to be about right here on his arm. Let's see how I could have turned it. I don't know. I'm just going to work with it. Look how small it is. That's a really small circle. Let me do this again. Sorry, guys. But you do have to look how small that circle is compared to these other circles. And I would have thought it would have been this one or this one. But look how small that is. Okay. And it goes kind of, okay. I see that top hole right there. See it on the right? I'm going to use that. That's kind of beside his head. I'm not trying to do the exact drawing. I've told y'all about that. So that's not going to work right there. He's bigger. So I'll go, since that did work, and he's bigger than that picture, I'll go with a little bigger one. That works better for me. Don't work, guess what, guys? We erase it. If it doesn't work, we erase it. You just got to position that curve just right. Kind of look up there and let's get that curve position just right. This is the work. Boring. It's boring, but this is how you do it. You got to do some things have to look craftsman made. I'm messing up trying to hold the phone, so when I hang up, I get through the video, I can shape him up now. But see how much better that looks? I mean, that's bigger. I have worked on his, what do you call it, kilt?